Hi guys, welcome back to round 2. I was sitting back there in the corner playing around.
Yep.
Not a Pokemon. It wasn't a Pokemon. It was playing Splatoon, so that was fun. Anyway, I was not paying attention to that first round.
Well, the first round was pretty interesting to watch, especially because Ultra Series is still very much in development. There's nothing really too popular. I mean, we still see the Zernias and Groudons of the world, but there's a lot of creativity that can still go into everything.
And a lot of semi-mirrors apparently, because we've got Alejandro Jimenez and Ben Lee on your screen for you guys. On your left is going to be Alex, already locked in with that Incineroar, Groudon, Salamence, Lunala, Ditto, Tapu Fini, and Ben didn't even let me get a chance to say his team, but it was definitely also.
It was the same Pokemon except for the Ditto. It was a Stakataka.
Oh, that's definitely super different.
Yeah, it's we were just talking about like how diverse the meta is right now, and then we're about to feature a mirror match. So
that sounds about on par for Force for you.
Yep.
I'll win this game unless I get crit.
Yep.
So Ben leading with actually that wasn't Ben.
Yep.
No, it was. Sakataka and Incineroar and Tapu Fini on Alex's side on the field. And Alex's Tapu Fini actually gets the Misty train up first, leading us to believe that he has the fast one, and also gets the Intimidate into both Sakataka and Tapu Fini.
It's interesting that now Fini is now that Primal Groudon is a thing again. Finis tend to carry a water move, so it'd be interesting to see if this Ben's Fini has some sort of water move here. But there's no way to know at this point. The Intimidate onto the Stakataka will prevent a whole lot of damage from being dealt, except that it's going to switch out.
Yeah, so now we've got that Groudon coming into the field, getting the Primal reversion immediately. I am still back and Primal Groudon after full stop. And we will be getting a Silhouette Land, and that means any sort of water type move from Tapu Fini is no longer going to be in effect. And we actually didn't see Kyogre from on either team, so there's no way to kind of rewrite this weather. But instead, we've got a Nature's Madness connecting on the turn into that Tapu Fini spot on Ben's side. So still going to be able to do that half damage thanks to that. But oh my gosh, a Nature's Madness miss from Ben's Tapu Fini, as his Tapu Fini once again gets hit now by the U-turn from Incineroar on Alex's side.
Yeah, Alex definitely getting the better end of the deal in that turn.
Ben's face is really sad, guys, from over here.
I would be sad too, but it's part of the game. Unfortunately, when you run moves that aren't 100% accurate, Lunala comes in, puts a ton of pressure onto both of Ben's Pokemon. Ben is it's already like really behind, and I want to see how he's gonna be able to come back, because like that Lunala is gonna put a lot of pressure here.
Yeah, I mean, Lunala still having that Shadow Lunala having Shadow Shield in general has been really frustrating, I think, to play against. But even more so when you've got it coming in here and just being able to kind of deal damage, still has that Z potential for it. And Tapu Fini on Alex's side being switched out now. We're going to be getting that Salamence, so another Intimidator and another Pokemon that we're going to be probably seeing more of as now Mega Evolutions are back again. Also, we're going to miss Big Day. Can I be bitter about that for a little bit?
I mean, I can still catch some between rounds.
Sweet. So we do get the Z move now from that Lunala on Alex's side.
Assuming you're going to go into the Groudon, I think there's no need to go that overkill onto the opposing Fini. I don't know if that KOs the Groudon or not. Well, actually, I don't know. Oh, it is going to that thing. Interesting.
Overkill for I mean, I guess if you want to guarantee the fact that like that Tapu Fini on that side won't be able to do anything, that's like one way to do it. And I guess that also means you can't really see that Groudon has much of an effect against your Pokemon right now. So I mean, I think what Tapu Fini is still kind of carrying like potentially supported moves, right?
Yeah,
so
most of them, yeah.
If you've got two Intimidates on your side, it's your Alex.
Yeah. P-Blade's going into the... Oh, it will connect at least for Ben, so at least he's getting some first bit of damage out in this game, but he did lose a pretty powerful Pokemon in the process.
Oh, I love saying that about Tapu Fini. I think that it's a pretty powerful Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean, it's such... The thing that's interesting about Tapu Fini is that the more you leave it on the field, the more annoyance it causes to your entire team. Because you can just run Icy Wind and Nature's Madness and Shield and this and that. So it's a Pokemon you don't want to leave it on the field for too long.
Yeah, I feel like seeing the rise of it as sort of a mixed Pokemon now again, as opposed to in Moon where it was just purely support, is going to be really interesting. But Salamence being switched out, I think we're going to get that Incineroar once again. So Ben's Groudon is going to be at -2 now. So Alex is going to be able to take opportunities to sort of just cycle out Intimidate. That Stack Attack is now just going to be at -1. And Lunala going for the Moon Guy Beam. So I think Alex, like you said, is still just in a good spot. That was really kind of having this that early on. And that does a lot of damage. Fire Punch being boosted here as well goes into that Lunala, but obviously no chance before that burn, as Trick Room is now set up by Ben's side.
Yeah, we don't know yet what boost this Lunala carry. If it has something like Lunala has something like Guard, then Alex can easily protect most of his team from any attack. And the fact that Alex can just rotate Intimidate will really cause a lot of problems for Ben. So Ben now needs to bank on getting a couple of crits. We still don't know what Ben's last Pokemon is, and I'm assuming it's going to be his own Lunala. But right now, Ben doesn't threaten a whole lot of damage, where Alejandro does threaten quite a bit of damage.
And Fake Out now from that Incineroar going to stop Stack Attacka from moving on this turn as Wide Guard being revealed from Lunala. So like you said, going to make sure that Precipice Blades and potentially like a Rock Slide that might have happened from that Stack Attacka won't hit, as now Precipice Blades again doesn't connect thanks to that Wide Guard.
Yep. And
kind of just a quote like dead turn there.
Yeah, I mean for Alex, you waste one turn of Trick Room, which is very useful. And yeah, sure you revealed the Wide Guard, but like you're protecting yourself from so many things, and you're gonna make Ben second guess every single one of his moves.
And like you said, it kind of makes it so that Ben doesn't really have a lot of pressure to put onto Alex's side, as we do see that Lunala is the last one here. I can pronounce it properly apparently, is going to connect with Lunala's Flare Blitz from Alex's Incineroar. Is going to also connect with the Stack Attacka. It does some okay damage there. But Groudon being off of the field means that Alex is putting just a lot of pressure, and if he goes into Ben's own Lunala with that nice game, but doubles down into the Stack Attack instead, picking up the knockout with a critical hit. Ben is just not getting lucky in this match.
The crit definitely didn't matter there, but you know, Alex now has 4 Pokemon. He can easily just switch. He can rotate Intimidates into sort of negate any damage that this Groudon can do. And again, that Wide Guard making Ben second guess every time whether or not he wants to click Precipice Blades. And this is actually one of those turns because the Precipice Blades is probably the only thing that Ben can do to deal a whole lot of damage to this Incineroar. So it'll be interesting to see how Ben's going to be able to deal with the Wide Guard and stuff like that. Here we go.
Yep, so Alex going for the Wide Guard on this turn as Throat Chop, actually from Incineroar being revealed into that Lunala, does a lot of damage even before breaking that Shadow Shield. This Precipice Blade not going to connect with either Pokemon because again, Wide Guard protecting both of them from that Moon Guy's Beam though. Ben finally at least able to attack within these past couple of turns and hopefully do some damage. Goes into the Lunala, picks up that knockout, but now you've got that opportunity either for you to come back in or that Salamence just to go for the Intimidate, so you still have that Mega Evolution for it. Not a lot that Ben can really do. Yeah,
like Lunala is the only thing that can take down this Salamence, and unfortunately for Ben, he lost his Shadow Shield. He is one Throat Chop away from getting knocked out, and I think Incineroar can easily take a Precipice Blades at -1. However, one interesting thing is that Ben still has his Z move, so I think there's only one turn left of Trick Room, so let's pretend that Ben survives something like a Hyper Voice. He could potentially knock out the Salamence and then goes for the Precipice Blade. Salamence is right now is Alex's win condition. Of course, one other play that could happen here is that maybe the Salamence could become like a Tailwind and then prevent Ben from getting the upper speed advantage.
Yeah, I mean that's actually really interesting because then you've got Throat Chop. You can just knock it out, knock out that Lunala. That it moves first.
No, I'm surprised that he didn't protect the Lunala. Like, it was pretty obvious that's there's no other play that Alex should go for. But yeah.
I mean, Groudon still but like you said, Alex going for the Tailwind on this turn is Trick Room expires, and I think if you're Ben and you're seeing kind of all of that, it's just at this point maybe you're just stalling time to figure out what you can do in game 2 because it's kind of rough to miss your first attack with Tapu Fini in turn 1 and then just be on the back foot the entire time, and Alex is able to capitalize on the fact that your opponent set up Trick Room and you're like, alright, let's go and let me just take care of your Pokemon and then get even more speed control once that expires.
Yeah, Ben really didn't take a whole lot of advantage from that Trick Room. Sure, he had the speed advantage, but like none of his Pokemon were picking up knockouts. One thing that he also finds out now is that the Groudon is faster than the Incineroar if the Incineroar gets the Tailwind. So he got a lot of really good information for this game. But I just felt like the Trick Room didn't really accomplish anything. I would have liked to see maybe Ben bring in his own elements to sort of get some Intimidates back and like sort of match the Intimidates as opposed to try and set up Trick Room.
Yeah, I think that's what's always really nice then about having multiple games is that you can try to adjust and figure out what to do in that second game. And I think Ben getting some information here that he can hopefully use better to his advantage in game 2 could potentially push us to a game 3, which would also be really fun because then that's 2 rounds ago you've got to cast a game 3.
Yep. I do remember back in the day when we used to have best of ones for our PCs, and like that was always interesting because you see all kinds of shenanigans, and I mean I brought them too.
I was gonna say, there's no way you're not part of those
yeah.
shenanigans.
I mean I think I brought like I used to run Blaziken and what's
A Pokemon?
another the fairy psychic type.
You were gonna say Tapu Lele.
No, this is back in 15.
Oh.
Gardevoir. Jeez. Yeah, I know.
Those are like 2 of my favorite Pokemon. They're both Gen 3 Pokemon.
I know, but I used to bring stuff like that and like
I'm actually
safety goggles, safety goggles on Kingdra and stuff like that. So yeah, shenanigans all around.
Oh wow, yeah. So Stakataka and Ditto are actually the only 2 Pokemon that are different on here. So I think it'd be really fun to see those. I actually really enjoy the fact that Ditto is one of those Pokemon that had a little bit of use in Moon, and that you can kind of play around with in Ultra Series right now. And you know, like it's been reiterated before that Ultra Series being so new at this point for a lot of people makes it really fun to see exactly what like everyone wants to bring, like Soak Shedinja. Whoever came up with that.
Whoever came up with that, yeah. Well, it's Ultra Series reminds me a lot of 16, but as in like stuff like Groudon and Xerneas are super strong. But now we have other Pokemon that can deal better with these Pokemon. Like Stakataka deals with Xerneas better than Bronzong ever did. Dustmane and Necrozma, stuff like that. So there's a bit of difference, but it's interesting to see how different those 2 matters are going to be.
So Incineroar and Tapu Fini from Ben's side, and Lunala and Salamence actually from Alex's side. So a little bit of a change over here as Intimidates are going to be exchanged now between both sides. The Salamence going first, and then the Misty train going up next with Incineroar's Intimidate finally going last here.
Yeah, I don't think Ben's getting much out of his Intimidate. He is threatening quite a bit onto this Lunala with something like if he has Throat Chop as well, or like a Z move, that could be pretty useful. But I like Ben's position here. The only thing that would be a little bit worrisome is whether or not that Fini can take a double up, such as his Hyper Voice plus the Z move from the Lunala.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, looking at their leads, it feels like Alex has a little bit more of an offensive lead than Ben's, which I think I'm still in the mindset of seeing Tapu Fini as a very sort of passive, supportive Pokemon, and knowing that, you know, it has access to Water-type moves still, like it did in previous formats where it was more of a attacker Pokemon, has been kind of an interesting mental change. So I think, depending on Ben's setup here, we saw that it had Nature's Madness, but any sort of other attacking moves that it might have, I think would be really fun here. So, Mega Salamence on the field. Look at how cute it is as a boomerang.
That's a good way to put it. I never thought of it as a boomerang, but that's what it is. Wide Guard coming out from the Lunala, Hyper Voice coming in. It's going to do a decent chunk to both Pokemon, but not too much.
Ooh, but Light Screen now from Ben's side. So it was actually interesting because I think it was on one of your matches that somebody had. Oh yeah, the Mawile and Brick Break. So that was like interesting on there, but I completely just missed that.
Yeah, he went for Snarl, but the Wide Guard protected it. But now Light Screen is up, and Light Screen against these two Pokemon is actually really, really useful. But that Wide Guard is just going to be quite problematic for Ben to deal with, especially with stuff like P-Blades running around.
And Groudon being switched into the spot by Lunala, which actually, as we just saw, didn't use that Z move to double down to the Tapu Fini. So Primal Groudon going to be hitting the field here. get used to seeing that animation all over again, and seeing Desolate Land. So again, if Tapu Fini has any sort of water type moves, they are not going to be useful at all in this turn.
Ooh.
Double Edge from Salamon's going to get boosted by that aerial ability. Now going into that Tapu Fini, just chipping away at the HP. Nature's Madness from Ben's Tapu Fini going to be able to connect on that Groudon on switch in. So finally able to connect that move as U-turn from that Incineroar is going to just double down into that Groudon spot. So Alex not really able to get this Groudon in for free, as Ben is now able to pivot into a better position.
Yeah. That Double Edge did a lot of damage for something that was at -1. And now Lunala comes in for Ben, and it's actually a really interesting position here because Ben is putting a lot of threat here into either the Groudon or to the Salamence, and thanks to the Intimidate onto the Salamence and the Light Screen up, that Salamence is really not going to be as threatening as it could potentially be, and where Ben is threatening so much with that Lunala.
Yeah, so I think Ben's adjustment in his lead ended up helping him here, especially being able to double down to Groudon, as that Groudon is actually going to get switched out again, and we're going to get Incineroar onto the field, so Alex revealing his double Intimidators once more. Going to get Intimidate both these Pokemon, not super important, but that Throat Chop is going to be something that Ben has to watch out for as he switches out that Tapu Fini here, brings back in his own Incineroar, so Alex's Salamence is going to be at -2. So those physical attacks aren't going to be doing as much now against both of Ben's Pokemon. But a Protect now from Salamence doesn't want to get hit by potentially either a Z-move or any sort of move from his but instead goes for a Trick Room. So Ben just saying like, alright, well that's fine, let's set this up. And the thing here is he going to be able to make better use of it than he did in Game 1?
I think he is actually in a much better spot than he was in Game 1 because nothing that Alex can bring in the Salamence slot is going to be able to take a Z move from that Lunala. And Lunala cannot be faked out where the Incineroar could, but I guess that's not happening here.
So yeah, no fake out, no protect, no attempts for a double protect here as Ben goes for that U-turn and is going to be able to bring back in another Pokemon here. He's going to bring in his own Groudon. We're going to get that Panel version once more and get that Sunlight. We did see, I think, that his Groudon was the slowest in... Oh no, sorry, that was after Taylor was up, so...
Yeah, we still don't know.
I actually don't know the speed types for those ones.
I mean, I think Incineroar more than likely is going to be slower in Trick Room. More often than not, that's how it always plays out. Especially since these two teams are so close together, I would assume they have some sort of Trick Room mode. Yikes, that still does so much.
But Ben's Lunala is still around long enough to go for that Z move, so we're going to say by the Salamence.
Yep, there's no way that goes into Incineroar. If that went in Incineroar, I think Ben
definitely misclicked.
Yes, or he forgot how to play. Or he's making like a really, really unnecessary read, especially because the Salamence went for Protect the last turn, so there's no need for a read like that. And Salamence is gone. I think Ben is in a much better position overall in this game than he was in the previous one. He is now able to take much better advantage of those Trick Room turns than he did last time.
Yeah, and then no worrying about that tailwind for it when that Trick Room eventually runs out, if that game is still going on at that time.
Yeah.
And I think taking those extra couple of turns in Game 1 allowed him to really kind of just assess his game plan again. And now Alex is bringing in his own Lunala. So still has the Shadow Shield up though, and we do know that it has Wide Guard. So at least now you're in that set of like, when do you press Precipice Blades and when do you press Wide Guard?
Yeah, we still have the Light Screen from Ben's team. So that's a very, Groudon as of now is pretty protected from any problem. I could easily see Ben switching out his Lunala for Incineroar. There's very little that he loses for doing that. And if Alex does choose to go for Wide Guard here, then he won't be able to protect the next turn.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ben is playing a better game than he did in Game 1.
Really?
And switching, well, are you talking about
that
like,
switch out?
Oh.
I'm a bit surprised by that.
So now we get a semi-mirror here as these Pokemon are opposite sides of their counterparts. Gets an Intimidate into Alex's Incineroar here. And the Throat Chop goes into Ben's Lunala again, is going to be able to... Actually, sorry, not pick up the knockout, thanks most likely to that Intimidate. Moonguy Scheme from Ben's Lunala is going to be going first. This is the problem. Same thing on the field, but does so much
Is that
damage.
a crit?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
wow,
no. But Alex is now holding on to 3 HP, is able to go for that Z.
Yeah, but...
That went down so fast.
Yeah, I thought it was going to get knocked out Wow, that does I didn't think it would do that much, but okay. So now we get to see that Z move again.
Miguel's rolling his eyes right here because he has to.
To top the copyright problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, at least it's not Light the Birds the Sky yet. Notice how I say yet. I'm waiting for it.
Don't worry.
Man, having 3 shots of espresso was a bad idea. My head is like right now.
Wow! Whoa!
Oh my god!
That was a crit.
What?
That was definitely a crit.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Alex, what the heck? This is.
Okay. So.
Poor Ben.
Everything is out the window now.
Ben tried so hard.
They came
got
so far,
and at the end it didn't. Poor Ben.
That is very unfortunate. I guess it's better that the Incineroar gets knocked out than potentially the.
You sacrifice the cat for the lizard.
Yeah.
Essentially is what's going on here. I mean, it's so interesting because that Lunala could have, Ben's Lunala could have picked up that knockout too. Yeah. And I think that's like the roughest part of watching this. More so if you're Ben, knowing that you were that close to picking up the knockout and keeping your Incineroar around and just able to just get rid of another heavy hitter on Alex's side.
I mean, it's not over by any means. Like the opposing Lunala for Alex is still like 1 hit away from getting knocked out. Sure, okay, he can have the wide guard, so there's some mind games that can go in here, and Ben no longer has an Intimidator, but if that Incineroar had survived, he would have been in such a better spot than what he is in now.
I mean, now if you're Ben, you're just hoping that the luck's finally going to turn onto your side,
yeah,
and hope that you get those crits that can help turn the game again in your favor, right?
Yeah, I definitely feel for Ben here, but, you know, not over until it's over, as we always say.
Tapu Fini coming onto the field in place of that Lunala, so I'm going to try to just preserve that Pokemon for later on. As a wide guard from Alex's Lunala, I'm just going to protect both of his Pokemon just in case that Groudon again goes for Precipice Blade, and Throat Chop goes into that Tapu Fini spot, so Ben correctly seeing that at least, but Precipice Blade again not hitting thanks to that wide guard.
Yeah, and there's still one more turn at Trick Room, but yeah, it's an interesting spot. However, if Ben has some more supporting moves on this Fini, then I can see a way he can pull this back. He can also have something like Icy Wind to cover for the U-turn into the Groudon slot. So, not over by any means. It's just going to be really, really hard.
I think, yeah, Icy Wind would have been interesting because then you have to play the wide guard game again, right? But we have Alex's own Groudon coming into place for that Lunala, and I mean, you could go. Like,
I can see Ben praying right now, so I think he went for the Precipice Blades, and he's just hoping that he hits. If he's able to double connect the Precipice Blades, the game ends right here and now. If he misses double Precipice Blades, then he should not gamble anytime soon.
He's not even old enough to gamble.
Yes, anytime soon.
He's gotta wait like 5 years.
So light screen up for Ben.
Man, I'm like getting nervous to see if these Precipice Blades hit. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
okay.
Oh no! Okay, so he gets one.
That's fine. One of them. So,
not the right one.
His Groudon's only half bad. Just kidding.
All right. So
yeah.
The good thing here, there's a good and a bad here. The good thing is that
if you're Alex, you're happy.
No, the good thing is that there's still hope, because the Groudon on Alex's side is 1 Precipice Blaze away from getting knocked out, where the Groudon in Ben's side is still a very healthy situation. So, not over, just really difficult.
I mean, there's always a way back, right? I mean, and the thing is, so if we're looking at it like a supportive Fini too, you could also go for like heal pulses for later on. But Groudon protecting on Ben's side as fake out from that Incineroar goes into that protected spot. Presses Blades here, not gonna hit with that Groudon, but does connect with the Tapu Fini. So Alex's Groudon hits all its moves, knocks out the Tapu Fini on this turn. That Lunala in the back is already having its shield broken, and it is actually gonna be faster now than the Incineroar because Trick Room is over. Yeah. So there is that small bit of hope, but I don't know if Ben can get enough damage into that Incineroar before things happen, right?
The game becomes whoever can hit the Precipice Blades this time. I think Ben can take a Precipice Blaze. He cannot take a I'm surprised by that play. Very much so. Precipice Blade at -1 is not going to kill this Incineroar most likely, and now Ben has to survive a single target Precipice Blade in case Ben went for, or Alex went for
Throat chop into
throat
the
chop,
Lunala.
which I'm gonna assume that's
Yeah.
what happened.
Actually, that's really interesting that Ben didn't just attack with that Lunala.
I mean,
Oh,
I don't think.
another critical hit. Oh my gosh, Ben, I'm
think-
so sorry.
I think Ben's best play there would have been to protect and just precipice
Just
blade.
go for it.
So now it comes down to who
Did
can
we
hit their
see-
precipice blades.
Did we see his Lunala have protect?
I mean, I would be shocked if most Lunalas don't carry protect at this point. So precipice blades coming, connect. Is it gonna be enough to KO?
And this is not intimidated.
No,
right?
it's not. It does not KO. So if it precipice connect,
wait.
it does connect with both Pokemon. So Ben does take this game very
Okay.
likely, unless it doesn't.
He does, unless he doesn't. There's only one of two options.
I was covering every situation.
But there's only one of two options. Either.
Yeah. So.
Do you answer maybes on true and falses?
Oh
Is
yeah,
that the true or
that's
false
how I
response?
did that's how I answered SAT. It's like this answer is correct unless it isn't.
What? Okay.
That's why I went to art school. So.
Wow. Okay.
They'll take her money. Doesn't matter what your SAT score is.
All right.
Going into game 3.
Yep. All right. Miguel, this is all you. This is all on you. Anyway, okay, I actually feel really bad for Ben because he definitely adjusted. He did.
Hey, he won.
Yeah, so it was like it's hard though because having to win that way, where it's just like you get those crits and you miss some of those KOs, and like you just have to keep thinking and like hoping at the end. That's.
I think at the same time, there's a good feel about it. It was like everything that could potentially gone wrong went wrong, and I still won. So what I did last time was correct.
I feel like isn't that mentally draining though? if
It's
that
still
happens?
mentally draining, but it's still
That's
like
only round 2.
yeah. But at the same time, it's like hey, I did everything I could have done possibly right, and I won that game.
I think-
So like, well, I guess he making adjustments either way.
Well, I think what's really interesting is that they brought the same before. Oh no, sorry. The Salamis is the only thing that was like different.
Yeah.
On Alex's side, but another adjustment now for Ben, bringing the Sakataka and the Incineroar, and Alex going for the Incineroar and the Groudon as well. So the Intimidate on Ben's Incineroar actually goes second again here, as Alex's Incineroar goes Intimidate first. Gets the Primal Reversion again. I'm just gonna be saying that a lot. Huh?
Yep.
So,
Get used to it. Primals are gonna be massive in this
it's
meta.
okay. I really love Groudon.
Well, I hope you like Kyogre too, because it's gonna be really.
I have a
popular.
tattoo of that one.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Yes, I have a tattoo of all 3 of them. I didn't forget Rayquaza.
So Alex is already in a way better position than Ben is because like, what can Ben switch in here
What
to
if Ben
take a
has
press?
What if Ben has Wide Guard on Sakataka?
Well-
Just kidding. Never mind. I lied.
Well, he does. They do trade fake outs, so I think what Ben went for here is maybe like a fake out plus wide guard. But if I'm Ben, I'm definitely. If you don't have wide guard, that stock attack is going down 100%. But
Yeah.
I'd be shocked if that wasn't something that he has.
Yeah, I mean, I'm curious about the Sakataka. Oh my god! Oh! Okay. Well,
Yikes!
so I mean, this is the -1 Groudon.
Shucka Berry.
Yeah, so.
Wow.
Is that why you're seeing it not on a patron?
A little bit. I'm just honestly like shocked by this play. To be honest, it's like it's so risky because like any crit here could be like detrimental for the entire game.
Maybe Ben's hoping that Alex used all of his crits already in that last game.
Well,
But U-turn gonna break that Shadow Shield immediately on that switch in on Alex's Lunala. Ben gonna be able to switch in his I'm guessing his own Lunala potentially here.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah, so I'm guessing what Trick Room on Sakataka?
Yeah, I'm 100% went for Trick Room. Like, you don't take that Precipice Blades for free without getting something in return. But
Did we ever figure out whose Lunala is faster?
I'm gonna assume Alex is running max speed Lunala where Ben's running min speed because so far almost every Pokemon for Ben has been slower in the mirror. So interesting position here because like obviously any Pokemon can switch out here. Nope.
This is everybody's favorite mirror again.
Yep.
So Groudon Lunala on the field for everybody who thinks they're seeing double because you definitely are. Another Primal Reversion here, but Ben is going to have to take some sort of attack now into that Groudon spot potentially. Actually, Lunala going to be switched out on Alex's side. That shield, Shadow Shield already broken on his Pokemon. The Incineroar coming in gets an Intimidate into Ben's Groudon. Has that fake out for next turn. Most importantly, can take a Z move from here. That's what Ben decided to go for. As Groudon on Alex's side goes for the Protect on this turn. Going to cover his bases here as Ben is going to be burning the Z move this turn.
Yeah, I'm very curious by the. I'm very curious to see how Ben is gonna adjust to this because like his Groudon got intimidated, so it's not as threatening. Lunala is obviously gonna be threatened by this Incineroar, and now he burned a Z move. He correctly went into the Groudon, but at the same time, he didn't call the Protect. I think Alex played very defensively, and he got in a really good position because of it. And one thing that I would say is kind of interesting is that
that was a sad.
Yeah, I was hoping that would do a little bit more damage. Another Moongeist Bean is not going to be enough to pick up a KO here. Where, I mean, you can always go for a Wide Guard to protect your Groudon, I suppose, if you have it. If you have it.
His Lunala has it. We saw Wide Guard last week.
Oh yeah, we did. You're right.
Yeah.
So
both of them have it, but we're not seeing it this
but we're
turn.
not going to see it. Oh, what's interesting is we see that the Lunala is not faster than the Groudon. But that Precipice Blade did not do that much damage, so there's good going all over here.
Yeah, so I mean, Ben's like not out of it yet.
No, Ben's in a good spot actually because like the Groudon's taking a ton of damage. One Precipice Blades will knock it out, and Ben has the opportunity here to bring in his own Incineroar to get some Intimidates out. His Groudon's not too threatened, so as long as he can connect his Precipice Blades, he's in a good spot.
That's like 90% of the battle though, is trying to connect your Precipice.
Yeah, that's.
You click the button and hope,
Yep,
right?
that's why I ran Eruption Groudon.
Oh, that's...
Yep.
Okay.
It's great. It hits all his moves all the time.
Except when
it doesn't.
Except when it doesn't.
Yep.
So you got one or the other. But we've got the Groudon on Alex's side. Going to be withdrawn in place of that Salamence. So going to get another Intimidate into that Primal Groudon on Ben's side. Going to put it at -2 now. And making sure that it doesn't get hit by Precipice Blades here. We actually get also a switch from Ben's side. Get that switch out from that Lunala, bringing in that Incineroar. So we're going to intimidate both of the Intimidators on Alex's side of the field. So both of them trying to negate the attack power of their opponent as much as possible.
Yeah.
Throat Chop now from Alex's Incineroar. Gonna go into Ben's own Incineroar. Doesn't do as much damage. Puts it in berry range. So now Ben's Incineroar is actually gonna be in the green once more. And now we've got Precipice Blades, obviously not connecting with Salamence. Is gonna connect with the Incineroar here, but it is now at -2. So does manage to get it to half health still though. But you've got Fake Out now on Ben's side. You still have to figure out what else can switch in.
I think one thing that's interesting is we've seen all 3 games is that Alex is bringing his Salamence where Ben isn't. And I think we are seeing the advantage of Alex's Salamence. He can switch into Precipice Blades without taking any damage. You can get those Intimidates off into Groudon to reduce any damage that your partner can take. And I felt like Ben is not taking advantage of that. And now this Salamence is in a really good spot because neither Incineroar nor Groudon is really doing anything to it. So we'll see. I'm going to assume Salamence is going to go for Hyper Voice here because there's no reason not to go for it. Throat Chop into the Groudon, puts it into potentially a range to get knocked out by Hyper Voice.
Yeah. And Ben going for the U-turn with his Incineroar. Gonna be switching in a Pokemon here that, like you said, is gonna have to most likely take a Hyper Voice from the Salamence. It's gonna be that Stakataka. So probably a better. Probably a Pokemon that's a little bit better. But we do have Hidden Power Groudon here. Does not pick up the knockout on Salamence. Is that HP Ice? Hyper Voice connecting with both Pokemon, not able to pick up the knockout as well, as Trick Room does expire on this turn. Actually, I still think if Ben can set up Trick Room again,
he's in a good spot.
That's actually really nice for him because that Sakataka ended up being a really good Pokemon to have here.
I'm actually shocked by the HP Ice. If he didn't have HP Ice, I would say he's not in a great spot, but because of it, no, that makes sense because now you get an Intimidate out, and you can potentially take you'd be a double up onto the Stakataka. Wow, the HPIs just caught me so off guard, as it did Alex.
I wish we could see Alex's face from here. But Incineroar being switched on Alex's side is going to bring in that Lunala as double edge from that Salamence goes into that Incineroar, which was that Groudon from before, leaving Stack Attacker free to go for that Trick Room on this turn. So Ben actually also able to go for Fake Out next turn into the Salamence. Lunala actually still has its Z move though on Alex's side.
Yeah, but the Shadow Shield being broken, Throat Chop will probably be able to pick up a KO here.
Does Ben have Throat Chop on his Incineroar? Have we seen it? I think we've seen his U-turn and Fake Out.
Yeah, I mean Throat Chop or maybe like a Darkest Lariat. Like, there's a lot of potential here.
Alex is definitely not risking it though, as he brings in that Primal Groudon here, already at just 38 HP. So he's probably gonna get knocked out here, as Gyro Ball is gonna go into that Salamence. He's able to easily pick up that knockout, get a Beast Boost as well.
Yeah.
So this Stack Attacker is gonna be able to get that defense boost. And I don't know, I think there's no Intimidates yet on this Groudon. It's slowly being chipped away by that U-turn. And I mean, if you can get another turn to turn, there's no way Stack Attacker survives like another Cosmic Spin.
Oh, no. But what's interesting here is that I think Ben was able to put himself in such a good spot with that HP Ice, because you put in so much more pressure that you didn't have before onto that Salamence. Salamence was at full HP, and then out of nowhere it's like almost knocked out. So it's interesting. I think Ben, with that little secret tech, was able to put himself in a really good spot, and now Alex's Groudon is probably can get knocked out by a Rock Slide plus Fire Punch or something like that.
You're still blown away by the HPI.
I was just so like, what? And then I was like, what? And then it was like, what? And that's...
Your vocabulary is so diverse.
Yeah, I used to read dictionary for fun. So...
An English word?
No.
Incineroar going to be back on the field. Then Intimidate going to do wonders for the two physical attackers on Ben's side. Not going to be able to really help Alex's own Groudon here, though. It is on its last sort of legs at 27 HP. I mean, you have the Fake Out pressure, so you can at least stop something here. The problem is you've got a Lunala whose Shadow Shield is broken, who's going to have to try to burn out Trick Room turns to be able to do any sort of damage. Does still have the Z move, but is no longer in any really that good of a place to be able to switch it at any point.
No, and the other problem is that the Groudon is so weak right now, and I think a Rock Slide might be able to pick up a knockout here. I'm not sure.
Fake Out from Alex's Incineroar goes into that protected Groudon spot on Ben's side. Gyro Ball is going to pick up the knockout. Oh no, I lied. I am going to eat those words. But Stack Attacker just barely misses that knockout at 3 HP here. He is going to take a Precipice Blade. He is going to get knocked out as well. That defense boost not helping very much here. But Ben, I think, is just still a pretty good spot.
For Alex to win this game, he needs to burn all the Trick Room turns.
Yeah. I mean, so now you've got both of these Pokemon on Alex's side intimidated. You've got the Fake Out pressure for Ben.
Both pretty much knocked out.
I mean, what do you really do? You can protect your Groudon this turn.
You can protect the Groudon and try and knock out the other Groudon, but then you have...
Well, because then if you're Ben and you're expecting Alex to protect his Groudon, don't you just Fake Out the Incineroar on Alex's side and just go for Precipice Blades or Fire Punch or something, right? I mean, I'm so glad we're on this side.
Yeah, good thing I didn't have to play today. For now. Well, we've seen Lunala switch in. We've seen the other Lunala switch in. But I think the Groudon is going to get knocked out here by a Throat Chop or nothing because it's protected.
Yeah, but the U-turn actually instead goes into that Groudon spot.
Game just got interesting.
Alright, well that Incineroar is staying in.
Yep.
And this... Ooh.
Did Ben... he already used his Z move, right?
His Z move on
so I think Alex here, what happens is Alex is going to... No, he's going to U-turn and Moongeist being the opposing Lunala if you're Ben. But Alex needs to, Alex is burning these Trick Room turns pretty well and not being very punished for it. And that's what he needs to do to win this game.
Incineroar coming back onto the field in place of that 3 HP Groudon. Gets Intimidate into both of Ben's Pokemon. not really that important on Lunala as U-turn goes into that Incineroar spot. Would have picked up that knockout if it was that Groudon. Instead, it's just going to be that Incineroar on Alex's side as Ben is, I think, going to be bringing in that, is only bringing in that Groudon because Stack Attack is gone. Lunala on Alex's side is going to be able to go for a Z move on this turn.
Unless Ben gets the knockout first.
You sound so stressed out.
Yeah, because I don't know what's going to happen. Oh, here goes the one guy.
Guys, team Ben's Lunala is going to be connecting into Alex's own Lunala. That Shadow Shield already broken. Oh, and it picks up that knockout. So it actually did a lot of damage that one time we saw past Shadow Shield. So not really surprising here. But Alex did burn those Trick Room turns, and I think he's got fake out pressure, right?
But
so,
Lunala, we found out game 2. No, Lunala, we found out game 2 is faster outside of Trick Room, so the game is over.
Man, it made me feel stressed out watching my game.
I was so stressed out.
You're not even playing.
I know, but I'm watching. So yeah, Alex is playing to his absolute outs here. One of them being that, hoping that Ben doesn't pick up a KO with his Fire Punch, which is possible. And if that happens, well, it didn't happen, so never mind.
Yeah, picks up the knockout with Fire Punch onto that Incineroar. It's this Groudon versus all of Ben's Pokemon. That 3 HP, it's just...
If Alex wins this game, I will...
You will replace Riley in your life with him?
Yes.
I want everybody to know that Riley Riley is replaceable apparently.
I guess so. But good job. Well played by Ben. Like game 2, he got so unlucky and still able to overcome all of that. And like he really played really well in his game 3, and that surprised him Power Ice was just such a shock.
What's really fun too is I think in this third game there was no misses and no critical hits. Yep. So it was a very rare clean game, especially when you have something like Groudon and Precipice Blades coming out. So, I think we still, nope, I was saying we still have 2 more games. Okay, so we still have like 1 more game going on after these 2. So it's almost Bagon Community Day over here. No, it's a minute right before it. Okay. So we're gonna go try to catch some shiny Bagon. You guys have fun getting over that HP Ice. Hopefully our own elements won't get hit by any of those in Pokemon Go. If I haven't opened your gift, I'm really sorry. I haven't played Pogo in like a month. But we'll see you guys for round 3. Well, maybe not. We might be shiny hunting.
Well, yeah. I don't know.
I really want this shiny Bagon.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
We could tell Ellie to catch them for us.
Oh, well.
You
there's like 4 right here.
Out,
oh, no, there was like